video, we'll be going through a brief demonstration of the Bridge Operator Console. We'll cover its features, the functionality, some optional integrations that we support, and some quality of life things that you may want to take advantage of. So first, before we get too far into this demonstration, our application is what's called a progressive web app. So it does run in a web browser. If I click the browser menu here, we can see that we're currently running in Google Chrome. We will support any modern web browser. Because it is a progressive web app, you will have an option to either install, or it could also say create a shortcut, sort of going to depend on the browser you're using. What this will allow you to do is it will create a desktop shortcut icon. It'll also allow the application to run within its own window. So as you can see here, this is our desktop shortcut. We could double click to go directly to that page. And at the bottom of the screen, we can see the application has its own icon. It's running in its own window. You don't have to worry about trying to find our application within your existing browser tabs. In the upper left of the screen, you'll see your user. You do access this application with an existing RingCentral account. We are going to pull in user information, all of these different users in the company directory, the groups, the queue activity section. That's all going to be read from RingCentral in real time. So it's something you set up at RingCentral. You don't have to set it up separately within our application. So in the top left, we can see some information about our user. You can see our extension, our current status. If you need to set up your audio device, you can click this headset. This will allow you to set a microphone, the speaker. You can change the ringtone, adjust the volume of that ringtone. We'll also find the option to stop queue calls. So if you are a member of a call queue and you need to step away from your desk, you don't want those calls to continually ring your device for a moment, you're able to flip this switch. It will take just a second to update. We will pass along this DND-queue calls status in the activity column in the company directory. So your other people in your organization will have visibility into that you're currently not taking queue calls. We will change this box to be this red status as well in the upper left. So we give you some indication that you currently have that switch flipped. To bring ourselves back in, we use the same switch. We're now accepting queue calls. The box below is the audio conversations window. This is where we display any calls currently ringing your device, any calls that we have active on our device, and they do appear in a list. So if there are multiple calls, you'll see them stack within the audio conversations. As I bring a call in, we will present a couple of different notifications. So in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a pop-up. This notification on the right of the screen will appear even if the application is minimized, and you have options to answer or ignore the call. Additionally, within our application, we can show this sort of status window where we see all the information about a call. We find our call control options as well. I'll go ahead and answer this first call. The timer will start. The status will update to a green icon, indicating that this is the call that we're currently speaking to. If we place a call on hold, you'll see that change to a yellow status icon. So we'll give you some indication as to the current status of a call. You'll find some fairly simple buttons on the left of the screen. Answer, hang up, hold, or resume, depending on the current status of that call. We'll also place the mute and unmute functions here. You have the ability to start or stop call recording. You can elevate a call to conference. You can place a call in the parking lot at the bottom of the screen. Additionally, we do have a DTMF keypad tool in the event that you need to enter menu tones. There is a dial box at the bottom as well. We will also place the block caller window within this tool. If there are no calls currently in queue and you have an active call, we will show you caller history. So we can see previous times that we spoke to this number, the actions that were taken. You're able to scroll within these boxes. So if you need to go back a few days, that's something that you're able to do within this window. As a second call appears, we're going to bring a call in through a call queue just to show what that looks like. Calls in queue will pop to the front of this box in the lower left of the screen. You'll see them appear in a list similar to the audio conversation, so you'll be able to see what queue a call is currently in, how long it's been waiting, the individual caller ID, the name of the queue, all the information that you'd need. If we use this pickup button, this will allow us to answer that queue call. Doing so, we'll pull it to the audio conversations window. We're now speaking to the second caller. Our first call has been placed on hold automatically. Selecting between calls is very simple. You find a call, you click on it, it's now highlighted. This will not automatically resume a call. You'll still have to use the resume icon, But this allows you to select a call and perform call transfer functionality without having to put your current call on hold. So very simple to switch between calls. You can verify the information in the selected conversation window to make sure you have the right call selected before you go to transfer. So we'll switch back to our original call. We'll go ahead and resume that call. At this point, we're going to move to the company directory. This is the primary box in the center of the screen. This is where we display different users, lists of users. We're currently showing our predictive transfer function, which is going to build a list of the most likely destinations for that call based on previous interactions. You do also have access to a default group. Typically, your default group will be your favorites. You are able to change that, and we'll talk about that when we get to the group section. But this is a very quick way to go back to a group with a single click. Within the company directory, we'll show you quite a bit of information. We'll pull in someone's picture if we have it. We'll be able to show you their presence. The RingCentral presence will be the color status next to someone's picture, and this column labeled activity. We'll show you a user's name, extension, department, title. Type will indicate if it's a user or if it's a department like a call queue. Call queues are searchable just like other users. The search box at the bottom of the company directory will allow us to search by any part of someone's first name, last name, extension, department, title. For a few examples, if I start typing Melissa, we'll find Melissa in the company directory. If I want to search by department and I search for accounting, we'll find all of our different users in accounting. If I want to search for a call queue and I know the name of the queue, I can type that. If I just want to see all of our different queues and I search for queue, we'll pull them all in. So we're going to run through the process of transferring a call to a user. So I'll search for Melissa, find her in the company directory. If you click on someone, this will open the contact card. On the contact card, you'll find call control right at the top. So your different transfer options, a basic transfer, a consult transfer if you need to speak to this user first. We can add them to our current call. We can transfer to their mobile. We can transfer to voicemail. We can access our park for function that we'll talk about when we get to call parking. Additionally, if a user has more phone numbers, we can use this more option, which will allow us to pull in any additional numbers that a user might have. In this case, we see direct numbers, company numbers. We'll have call control options for those as well. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do a basic transfer. We're now free to resume our previous call. The first call has been transferred to Melissa. So in addition to the RingCentral presence, we are also displaying our optional Microsoft presence. This is part of the Microsoft integration, which we'll cover near the end of this demonstration. If you do use services like Microsoft Teams or Outlook, we have some additional integrations that we can offer. We'll cover the steps necessary to enable those integrations as well. So next, we'll move to the group section. Everyone will have access to their own favorites group. It's the same favorites that you'd find in the standard RingCentral app. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll start to see different department groups. We'll see groups built for call queues, these external sites and locations. All of the group information, the user information, queue information is coming from RingCentral. It's something that you set up in their services. When you sign in with your account, we'll pull it into our application. It's not something you have to set up separately here. So this allows us to create lists of users, again, based on department, a location, members of a call queue. And if we click on, for instance, accounting, we'll find all the users in the accounting department. If we want to see the members of a queue, we can click on a queue name and see those queue members. So everyone has access to their own favorites group. It's a really quick and easy way to configure a list of people that you want to see on screen most of the time. When you click on a user, you'll find a star icon at the top of their contact card. This will allow you to either add or remove someone from that favorites group. So very quick and easy to search for someone by name, add them to that group, build it out to your specific needs. The contact card will contain additional information about these users. So under contact information, we'll find users' phone numbers, an email address. This is coming from RingCentral, so any additional numbers that someone may have, that email option, we can send an email. It will open Outlook to send that email. We also place the supervisor functions within this window, the monitor, whisper, barge controls. We're not going to override user permissions at RingCentral, so you do need to have the proper user permissions to access those supervisor functions. But if you do need them, you'll find them in this application. Related people, by default, will show users in the same department. We're pulling in a direct report and a manager as we're getting through our Microsoft integration, so we can build this list out a little bit further. It's just a quick way to find people who are in a similar role in the event that someone's unavailable. You'll find options to call, chat, or transfer to these users. You can also flip to view their contact card with a single click. The notes section will allow you to leave different notes for users. These are shared between people using our application. We'll also indicate who created the note and when it was left. To add a new note, you type in this text box here. We're able to set it to expire after a set amount of days, and you can use the slider to change that amount. Or you can have it with no expiration if it's a more permanent note that you want to stick around. If someone does have a note, you will see an icon next to their picture. It's a little sticky note. You can hover over that icon to see what the note says without having to open the full contact card. And they can be deleted at any time with this delete icon. We do have a dedicated dial box to the right of the search. Here, you could place an external number, you could place someone's extension, and then dial or transfer to that number if you'd like. We do also have the option to create personal contacts. If I go to the People section at the top, we'll find an option to create a personal contact. This is a quick and easy way to create a searchable contact that maybe exists outside your organization. It could be an external number, someone that you're calling or transferring to frequently that you want to be easily searchable. As an example, we have a user named Ed. If we find Ed in the company directory here, we can see that his department is listed as personal. We have some information about Ed. We can see his phone number. He does become searchable in the search bar as long as he's a personal contact. Additionally, we'll find our call control options available for that number. You'll find the parking lot at the bottom center of the screen. The parking lot is sort of a shared hold. It's a location where you can place calls where they're visible to other people. They can be sort of retrieved by other users in the event that someone's available. So again, sort of a shared location that we can place calls. If you do park a call, we'll let you know who parked the call, how long it's been waiting, if it's parked for anyone in particular. In this case, it's just in the general parking lot. We'll show you the caller ID information for that call, the park position, in this case, star 804. There's a pickup icon similar to the icon that we showed if a call is waiting in queue, so you can easily retrieve those calls from park. And anyone using our application will have visibility into that parking lot. You can set filters for the parking lot in the event that you have a lot of different people parking calls and you just want to see calls parked by certain extensions. That's something that you're able to find in our settings. We also support a feature that we call Park 4. What Park 4 will do is it will place a call in park while also alerting someone that there's a call waiting in park. And we send along an automated message to a user letting them know the details of that parked call. There's a few different ways to do this. So we do have some quick icons. You'll find your Park 4 option, a basic transfer, or a call icon. You can click on someone to open their contact card, or you can right-click to display your list of call options. So this will show all the call control options available on the contact card, as well as this contact section and the supervisor section. We'll go ahead and click on this user and then use Park 4. So similar to before, a call will appear in the parking lot. I'll show an example of what this message looks like. So if I open, this is the RingCentral chat. We're just rendering it within our application here. We do send along this adaptive card to a user. So it will contain the information about that parked call, the park position. There's pickup buttons if they want to pick that call up with their RC app or with RC Mobile. It'll contain all that information. It's not stuck to this user, so in the event that Melissa, in this case, is unable to take the call, we can still retrieve it ourselves, or someone else can retrieve that call. We're just going to automate the step of alerting someone that there's a call waiting in park. It can be a good option in the event that someone is currently on the phone. We maybe don't want to transfer directly to them or transfer directly to their voicemail. Placing it in park using Park 4 allows us to sort of silently notify that person that there's a call waiting. They can respond to us with a chat message, let us know if they can take the call. If they can't, we always can pull that call out of Park ourselves. The default ringback time for calls in Park is 5 minutes. That's something that is configured at RingCentral. So if a call does set for 5 minutes, it will ring back to our user, and we will include a tag letting you know that it's a previous Park. Additionally, with this application, if we retrieve a call from Park, we will restore the original caller ID information. So instead of just displaying the Park position, we'll go back, find that original caller ID, and restore it, so you don't forget who you're talking to. The queue activity section will show you sort of a count of calls waiting in queue. Similar to what we showed before, when calls ring into a queue, they will pop to the front of this box in the lower left. So I'll go ahead and bring a couple calls into queue so we can show what this looks like. So you'll see a live count of the calls waiting in queue. We can see our current status. We're currently logged into 4 of these queues. We're logged out of this escalated queue. If you do need to selectively log in or out of queues, you can go to the Tools section and find your queues. This will allow us to do sort of selective sign in or out. This is going to be different than the general stop queue calls option. I'll show an example of what this looks like. So we currently have a call ringing to our user. If I temporarily stop taking queue calls, we'll see that this will no longer automatically ring our user, and it will take just a moment to update. So we see we still have 2 calls waiting in queue. It's no longer automatically ringing our user. If I flip back into taking queue calls, we'll see it ring in within just a moment. When you answer a call from queue, we do retain the name of the queue. Additionally, if we park a call from a queue, we will retain the name of a queue as well. So you'll be able to see the location where that call came from. At this point, we'll touch on some of our optional Microsoft integrations. So in addition to the ability to display a Microsoft presence, we can also search for users that you potentially have stored at Microsoft Active Directory. This can be useful in the event that they don't have a corresponding RingCentral account. We have a user named Dakota that if I search for her, we won't find her in the company directory. However, we see an icon in this Microsoft window letting us know we have 2 results. If I open this window, we'll be able to find Dakota, see information about her. We can display Microsoft activity. We'll find options to call or transfer to these numbers. We can also display this Microsoft information card, which flipping through, we'll find contact information, an organization chart. Again, this can be useful in the event that someone doesn't have a corresponding RingCentral account. Returning for a moment to the contact card, some additional components of our Microsoft integration will be to display a similar Microsoft card to what we just showed. So if you need contact information, you need to send someone a quick message, view an organization chart, see emails, all of that information. We can display it natively within our app. Additionally, we will have an optional component of that integration, which allows us to view sort of a free busy view of someone's schedule. It is a blind view, so we're not sharing calendar details and we're not sharing calendars outside of this application. It's a quick and easy way to see some insight into someone's availability. I'll go ahead and go to next week just so we have more information. So in this case, we can see that this user has calendar events Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. So if someone called looking to speak to Melissa, we'd be able to say, okay, well, it looks like she's busy until at least 10 on these days. Again, that's an optional component of our Microsoft integration. To enable the Microsoft integration, there's a few steps that are necessary. If you go to our website, which is bridgeoc.com, there's a RingCentral menu. Someone in your organization who has sort of Microsoft admin permissions will need to authorize this M365 presence and user access. The calendar access is an optional component if you want access to that user schedule. We have it as a separate link, but this will need to be done first, so you'll have to authorize presence and user access. Once that has been done, it is an org level authorization, so it should only need to be done once. From there, you're able to go to our settings. There's a section labeled Microsoft 365. Once you've authorized our app, you're able to enable that login. If you want the Microsoft Teams presence, the auto search, you're able to enable those. And again, what this will give you is visibility into a Microsoft presence, We'll have the user search. We'll build that related people list out a little further. By default, we'll display people in the same department. This will allow us to also display, again, direct report and manager, all of that information. So if there are any questions at the end of this presentation, if you still have questions, we do have a help section within our app. If we click this list here, we'll see there's an About section, there's an icon help key. You will find a user manual in the About section. Below that, we'll find YouTube videos with this application. You can chat with our team, email our support. So definitely take advantage of these resources if there are any outstanding questions. But with that, we've sort of covered the basics. So yeah, appreciate everyone's time. Thanks.